Come on, demons. Come on, demons. Come on, demons. Come on, come on, come on, come on, demons.
Good evening, Demon fans, and welcome back to the Demonland podcast. My name is Andy, and on Friday night, the Demons faced Geelong in what shapes as the first of a couple of formidable tests to finish the home and away season. With finals fast approaching, these are the games that will define where Melbourne finishes on the ladder. Every win from here becomes that little bit more valuable, and Friday night's clash has all the ingredients of a genuine finals-like contest between two sides with plenty to play for. If you're thinking about heading along to the MCG, now's the time. The boys deserve a big Demon army behind them, and with the stakes as high as they are, it promises to be a cracking night of footy and one of the best atmospheres of the season. Coming up in just a moment, I'll be joined by Melbourne defender Jake Bowey. We'll chat about his incredible 17-game winning streak to begin his AFL career, his role in the club's drought-breaking 2021 premiership, the Demons' resurgence in 2026, his evolving role in the backline, and plenty more. And don't forget, the Demonland podcast returns live this Monday night at 8 p.m. If you'd like to join us live and be a part of the discussion, head over to demonland.com at 8 p.m. on Monday night. But for now, here's Jake Bowey. Our guest tonight needs no introduction. His AFL journey has been nothing short of remarkable. Drafted by Melbourne with pick 21 in the 2020 AFL National Draft, he made his senior debut late in the 2021 season and just 7 games later became an AFL Premiership player as the Demons ended a 57-year Premiership drought. The winning continued the following season with him becoming the first player in more than 90 years to win each of his opening 17 AFL matches, setting the record for the most consecutive wins from debut. Since then, he has established himself as one of Melbourne's most composed, reliable and damaging rebound defenders. His outstanding 2025 season was recognised with a 4th place finish in the club's best and fairest, reflecting just how important he'd become to Melbourne's defence. His preparations for the 2026 season were cruelly interrupted by a serious Lisfranc injury during the pre-season. After surgery and months of rehabilitation, he returned to a Melbourne side that had already defied almost every external prediction under new coach Stephen King. Since making his comeback, he has seamlessly slotted back into defence and he's playing some of the best football of his career, helping the Demons continue their push towards a return to finals after a 2-year absence. Jake Bowey, welcome to the Demonland podcast.
Thanks for having me on, Andy. That sounded awesome.
Always like to pump the guest up, soften them up a little bit. So let's go back to your debut. Take us back to round 2021. As a teenager, you're thrown into your first AFL game in what turned out to be a 98-point win over Gold Coast at Marvel Stadium. And what a lot of people may have forgotten is just how chaotic the lead-up was. Melbourne was supposed to play the Suns on the Gold Coast before flying to Perth to quarantine ahead of the following week's game against West Coast. Instead, the team's charter landed in Brisbane, sat on the tarmac for hours because of a COVID situation, and before everyone was eventually turned around and flown back to Melbourne, where the game was relocated to Marvel Stadium less than 24 hours later. It's about as bizarre an introduction to AFL footy as you can imagine. What do you remember most about those 48 hours, and did you have any inkling that this extraordinary start to your career would be the beginning of such an incredible run, both personally and for the footy club?
Well, yeah, it was a pretty interesting time during that year, like getting drafted and COVID still floating around. It was pretty nuts. And yeah, we actually had to get in a bubble before the game. So funny one, actually adding to that craziness, I slept on a swag mattress the night before the game at Kate Chandler and Harry Petty's house when they were living together. So that was the start of it all. And then I guess it only got crazier from there. And yeah, flying up to Gold Coast, we had the pilot make the announcement saying that had a COVID case and we weren't sure on what was going to happen. And yeah, I was just sitting in my chair just hoping that I was going to play a game at some point. And yeah, eventually flew back to Melbourne that night. Gold Coast flew down here and we played at some ridiculous time, like 10 a.m. at Marvel, also in front of no one. So pretty crazy first game. And then I think in my second game there was lightning. So
yes.
had quite the start to, my career.
I'd forgotten about the Lightning game, yeah. So in just your seventh career game, you found yourself playing in an AFL Grand Final at the time. Were you able to appreciate the enormity of becoming a premiership player and helping to end Melbourne's 57-year drought, or did it all just happen so quickly to fully process?
I was definitely a very lucky boy back then and didn't really realise what I'd achieved at the time, but definitely reflecting on it now that, like, the severity that, the severity it had on fans and staff and even players like Gorney and T-Mac who had been around for ages and not really tasted much success. It was, it was pretty funny coming in and, winning 7 games and a flag in a team that, notoriously have been not the greatest in those past years. So, I definitely didn't realise what it was worth at the time. And, it's only made the sort of hunger to get back there even better and greater in the following years.
Well, the wins just kept coming. There were the 7 straight victories to finish 2021, including the premiership, and then Melbourne opened the following season with another 10 consecutive wins. And before you knew it, you'd won your first 17 AFL games, setting the record for the most consecutive wins from debut. It was an incredible time to be a D's fan. At what point did you become aware that the streak had become a story in its own right? And when that run finally came to an end, what was it like walking off the ground on the losing side for the first time?
I was probably made aware of the streak probably at 14. I think they started talking about it on social media and TV. And, I thought, how good's AFL footy? It's pretty easy, isn't it? And then I think it was 5 games after the streak ended, I got dropped. So it was a pretty big drop to, for that to happen. A pretty crazy run that we went on. It was amazing to do that.
Having experienced the ultimate success so early in your career and with Melbourne spending almost 3 years as one of the competition's leading team, the back-to-back straight sets finals exits in 22 and 23 must have been difficult to process. Did those experiences give you a greater appreciation of just how hard sustained success is in the AFL? And are there lessons from those disappointments that have helped shape you personally?
Yeah, definitely. I think I needed that just to sort of realise how hard AFL footy is and how, perfect sort of the club needs to be. I think in that 2021 and 22 years, we had little to no injuries and just how important that is for, I guess, competition for spots, even just the environment at the club. Everyone's up and about, everyone's playing footy, everyone was playing good footy, and just how important that is to sort of help the AFL side at least put on the best show every week. Is crucial. And I guess the straight sets weren't the greatest, and I think because I missed out unfortunately on the 22 because I was in the VFL, but the 23 one sort of put it all to show on how difficult it is. And Troy Chaplin came up to me after the Blues game when Akers kicked that goal and was like, that's AFL footy for you. It's not all just a walk in the park. So ever since then, it's sort of been, that chase for that feeling again.
You've had to deal with a couple of significant injury setbacks during your career. In opening round in 2024, you broke your collarbone against Sydney, sidelining you for close to 2 months. And then this pre-season, you suffered the list rank injury that required surgery. It's kept you out for 4 to 5 months until round 10. When you receive news like that you need surgery, you're going to miss a lot of footy, what goes through your mind initially? And over the course of a long rehabilitation, what are the biggest challenges, both physically and mentally, I guess, in getting yourself back to playing AFL footy?
Well, the shoulder in Sydney was, a shocker. I guess both of my injuries have been pretty bad ones, a foot and a shoulder. You sort of need them for everyday life as well, so it's pretty difficult getting around and doing my own stuff. But I guess the shoulder was probably better in sort of knowing that I'd actually done something bad, whereas my foot, I just got stood on. So it was such like a little thing that just blew up out of nowhere. It was on camp as well. And ended up running and climbing Mount Buffalo because we thought it was just a bruised foot, and ultimately didn't get any better over 2 weeks. So then had the scan, and the doc said, it's a 6-month injury. So I was pretty shocked at the time. And when I got told that, because I was literally running and jumping on it the day before. Sort of probably was lucky to do it at that time where I wasn't going to miss a majority of the year. So I was pretty lucky in that. But sort of the 2 injuries I've had have been pretty bad ones. And coming into AFL, I never really had any injuries. So it was sort of a rude awakening and something that I've never really experienced before. So I guess it's a good sort of lesson for me and something that I can help the younger boys with if they ever have that happen to them. And it's pretty disappointing after having a good year last year and not even getting to sort of, I guess, get much benefit out of pre-season because I missed it all. But sort of happy that I'm back in the team playing my role and putting my strengths on show again.
Well, looking back at that 2025, it felt like your most complete season of your career to that point. You averaged around 23 disposals, finished 4th in Melbourne's best and fairest. You've become such an important part of the Demons' ball movement from defence. What do you think clicked for you that season, and did it give you the confidence heading into this season that there was another level to your game? Because watching you now, it certainly feels like you found that level.
I think it was more outside of footy. I think I got a bit more responsibility. I moved out of home, sort of had some, more responsibilities and a better routine to sort of maximise my time at the club. And then sort of when I get home, also have stuff to keep me busy and keep my mind off things. And then, also just, I guess, sort of finally mastering sort of the half-back role. Like, I'd never really played defence at all in juniors, as similar to a lot of other draft picks. Like, you're not really a half-back flanker, you're sort of a mid-forward. Thrown back there in my first year, and then sort of eventually realised how you can sort of play the game to, put your strengths on show is sort of put my last year, 2 years together and has enabled me to play the footy I am.
So Stephen King arrived at the club this year and he's had an immediate impact. What's he actually like to play under, and what has he brought to the group that's been different? Is it mainly the game plan and faster, more attacking style of footy, or has the biggest change been in the confidence, belief and freedom that he's given to the players? I've heard a lot of players talk about that.
Yeah, I think if you look at guys like Tommy Sparrow, Harry Sharp, Blake Howes, it's probably the confidence and not sort of scared of making mistakes and sort of playing fun footy where everything's on the table is sort of giving us freedom to, do what we want and attack the game the way we see it. And then also just, the game styles ultimately giving us the chance to do that in the way we get back and help on defence and then still have the same sort of energy to go on offence, which is what you need to challenge teams today. And it's sort of gone from the contest game, which is what Goody coached early in my career, but the game's sort of shifted to how well you can get it to the outside and have good users with the ball and actually be damaging going forward, which is sort of the reason I think we've gone from being sort of a lower side last year and coming in this year and challenging teams and putting up big scores. So
while you were injured in the preseason, Stephen King is introducing a very different and more attacking game style. How difficult was it for you to learn that system from the sidelines? And when you returned, what were the biggest tactical and positional adjustments you needed to make to your game to slot into this new style?
Yeah, definitely obviously missing a preseason, I was sort of a bit behind everyone else. So I sort of had to, smash out some sessions to get the volume because there's a lot more running, a lot more high speed, which isn't one of my strengths. So I had to work hard on that and sort of just, the patterns on offense, sort of not hanging around waiting for out the back. You've just got to get out and provide an option. It's mostly all running patterns and I guess just, trying to really challenge the oppo as well as still having the defensive mindset of getting back and helping and, putting pressure on. I think pressure is the main things that's held us in good stead that you don't require the footy for. That was probably the hardest thing, just getting the miles in the legs to actually be able to play the game plan for 4 quarters, which is, ultimately what we're still trying to achieve. We've been pretty close the last couple of weeks, but that was the hardest bit.
Melbourne was widely predicted to finish bottom 6, and even supporters weren't daring to dream of finals. Most were simply hoping that maybe the team could be in the wildcard conversation, and from the outside it's easy to see why. Christian Petrarca, Clayton Oliver both depart, Stephen May retires, and there's a first-year senior coach. So inside the club, was the belief always as strong as it is now, or did that belief grow and the confidence build as the season unfolded and we started putting on some serious wins against some quality oppositions? And at what point did the playing group begin to think, well, we've got something here?
Great question. Obviously, we all probably thought similar to you guys, you supporters and the guys that love the club. Like, we didn't think we were going to be this high on the ladder at this point in the season. So it's a bit of a shock, but I think the belief came from maybe the Brizzy game or even the Carlton comeback.
Yeah.
Those games to watch, because I was in the stands, they were unbelievable. Like the way we sort of used the ball and put a reigning premier to the sword like that was unreal to watch. I was so hyped in the stands, like just as a spectator, it was unbelievable. And I think the belief sort of came from there. And then we knocked off, I think, Gold Coast, or might have been the other way around. But knocking off those sort of teams that you look at and go, oh, this is going to be a real challenge, and beating them probably gave us that. And we lost to Essendon in Adelaide, which still hurts. I guess it just came from our on-field performances and sort of the belief in each other and the game plan that it actually worked.
The back 6 looks very different to the premiership defence you joined in 2021. Stephen May's retired. Christian Salem has missed most of the season through injury. Harrison Petty's become a permanent forward. And both you and Trent Rivers have spent time on the sidelines. And at the same time, Daniel Turner, Blake Howes, they've taken on much bigger roles. CJ's added speed and dare. Colt has become a revelation down back. Jake Lever's now become the senior figure in that defensive group, while you're one of the few remaining premiership defenders alongside him and with Riv as well. How has that group developed such a strong chemistry in a relatively short period of time? And how have the leadership and organisational responsibility evolved with so many new faces? And I imagine you've taken on more of a leadership role too.
Yeah. I think Rick's always been a leader. I think the way he plays and his voice is vital for us, and sort of being that sort of father figure, even though he's not that old, but he just seems so old. So we all listen to him like a dad. He's been crucial for us, and obviously passing on his knowledge of the game and all the things that he's learned, but also like younger blokes like Disco, who's in the leadership group, has just gone from strength to strength with his leadership, but his footy as well, like taking the opposition's best forward every week and not just locking him down, but still providing offense for us has been elite. And I guess at the start of the year when we had a few injuries, it gave that opportunity to blokes like Blake Howes, who else? CJ and Colt. Colt's been, amazing. Also doing the same thing as Disco. I think it just gave them the belief and sort of the confidence to play their game. And then, to get some troops back towards the end of the year has been awesome for us. And Salo playing some footy in the VFL, which is awesome to see.
The D's willingness to attack and move the ball quickly has made the team exciting to watch, but it can occasionally leave defenders exposed when the ball's turned over. As a defender, how do you balance embracing that attacking freedom with maintaining the defensive discipline needed against the best sides? Yeah,
it's a bit of a two-edged sword. Like, you want to run your patterns and you sort of get hung out to dry a few times, but it's ultimately going to help us both ways if we use the footy the right way. I think you saw on the weekend I got a bit grumpy when we turned it over on the wing, it's going to happen at times. And I think we've got to give something to get something. So if we want to play so attacking, we're going to have to risk us making turnovers or mistakes. But I think we've been pretty good at, getting back and helping, and not just the back six doing that, like mids and forwards like Chin and Sharpie and Tommy Sparrow, like putting on pressure to give us a chance to actually get back and help. So, yeah, it is hard at times, and when it doesn't come off, it looks horrible. But, yeah, we're hoping it comes off more times than it doesn't.
Finally, Melbourne's now well placed to return to finals and potentially challenge for a top 4 or a top 6 spot. Having experienced what premiership football looks and feels like, what qualities does this group already possess that can hold up in September? And genuinely, how deep do you believe the Demons can go this year?
Yeah, I think if you've watched the last couple of weeks, like keeping North to, I think there was a period they didn't kick a goal for 40 or 50 minutes. Like, we're still able to defend teams that want to attack. And, yeah, we're still scoring 100 points a week, which I think in finals it's not really high scoring, flowing like that, but for us to be able to show that we can sort of defend as well, not just attack and concede big scores. I think at the start of the year that a lot of people were saying that we're scoring 100 points every week, but we're conceding 100 as well. So I think we've shown that we can still defend the way we want to play, and yeah, not sort of, I guess for me and the team, just not sort of worrying about finals at this stage. Like, we've got a huge game this Friday night, and which will sort of shape where we'll finish, hopefully. If we get if we get a win this week, it'll look really positive. And we've got a bit of a tough fixture to finish the year. So just sort of looking at it the week by week, that old classic gag.
1 week at a time.
So yeah, exactly that one. Whereas, at the start of the year, finals weren't even sort of in question. So it's sort of not getting too confident, but, yeah, just staying humble and, yeah, just taking it one game at a time.
I love to hear it. Well, Jake, thanks so much for joining us on the Demonland podcast. We really appreciate you taking the time to chat, and we wish you and the boys all the very best for the rest of the season. And to everyone listening, if you're thinking about heading to the footy on Friday night against Geelong at the MCG, do it. Bring your family, bring your friends, and let's get as many Melbourne supporters through the gates as we possibly can. It shapes as one of the games of the season. 2 teams fighting for a spot in the top 6. Top 4 is within our reach. A huge Friday night crowd and an atmosphere that should be as close to finals footy as you'll find in a home and away season. Our young group has exceeded everyone's expectations this year, and this is a fantastic opportunity for them to experience that big game atmosphere before September. They deserve our support, so let's make plenty of noise and help create a genuine home ground advantage. Once again, thank you for your time, Jake. We really appreciate it, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Awesome chat, Andy. Thank you, mate.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. That was Jake Bowey, and what a terrific chat that was. A huge thank you to Jake for taking the time to join us on the Demonland podcast, and also a huge thank you to the Melbourne Football Club for organising that interview. It's always great to hear from someone who's been a part of so many memorable moments over the past few years, and hopefully he'll have another big performance when the Demons take on Geelong on Friday night. If you can get to the MCG, make sure that you do. Bring your family, bring your friends, wear the red and blue, and help create the kind of atmosphere that can lift the boys in what promises to be a massive game of footy. With so much on the line as we head towards finals, every voice in the stands will make a difference. Before we go, don't forget to keep an eye out for Bin Man's Stats Files preview podcast, where he'll dive into the numbers and key trends that could shape Friday night's clash. You'll find it in the Demonland podcast feed wherever you're listening to this episode. And, of course, we'll be back live on the Demonland podcast this Monday night at 8 p.m. to wrap up all the action and take your questions. We hope you can join us then. Until next time, go D's.
Go Redleggers.
It's a grand old flag. It's a high-flying flag. It's an emblem for me and for you. Well, it's the emblem of the team we love. The team of the red and the blue. Well, every heart beats true for the red and the blue as we sing a song for you. Should old acquaintance be forgot? Keep your eye on the red and the blue. Where the team played fine in the year 39. We're the team that no one can lick. And you'll find us there after the final bell with the spirit of 1926. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue as we face sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be forgotten?